Important announcement for all businesses in Saudi Arabia. We are unpacking everything you absolutely need to know about the Zakat Implementing Regulations right now. If you are operating a company, if you're handling the books, or managing compliance, you need to pay very, very close attention to this explainer. We're looking directly at the rules surrounding ZATCA's ability to look back at your past Zakat filings, and honestly, the timeline might genuinely surprise you.
Okay, let's dive right into this massive number, 10. 10 full years is exactly how far back the Zakat Tax and Customs Authority, or ZATCA, can legally look into your business's financial history. Just let that sink in for a second. A whole decade. I mean, think about where your business was 10 years ago, right? Think about the accounting software you were using back then, the staff you had in place, maybe even physical receipts sitting in dusty boxes. Under specific circumstances, literally all of that historical data can be pulled right back into the spotlight today. It's a massive window of time, which means understanding exactly how and why this window opens is absolutely crucial for your company's financial health.
Section 1. The 10-year Zakat window.
So, let's establish exactly what this means in practical terms. Basically, ZATCA has the right to assess, reassess, or correct errors within 10 years. But notice the starting line here, because this is key. It is 10 years from the end of the filing deadline. That means the clock doesn't just start ticking at the end of your financial year. No, it starts when the final paperwork was officially due. If certain non-compliance situations exist, ZATCA has the total legal authority to go all the way back up to a decade to review your filings. Your past isn't necessarily a closed book just because a few years have slipped by.
Section 2. 6 reassessment triggers explain.
So, what actually triggers this? Well, there are 5 highly common pitfalls that can trigger a 10-year reassessment, ranging from obvious violations to incredibly simple everyday mistakes. Let's walk through them. First up, late submission. If you file the Zakat return after the statutory due date, even if you get it in eventually, that late filing acts as a trigger. Second, we've got an incomplete return. And heads up, this isn't just about missing numbers. If you submit incomplete data, or honestly, even if you just use forms other than the ones officially approved by ZATCA, boom, the window opens. Third is failure to pay. You might have filed perfectly on time, but if you don't actually pay the due Zakat based on that filed return within the legal deadline, you trigger the lookback. Fourth is probably the most direct, failure to file entirely. Not filing the Zakat return and not self-assessing as required is obviously a massive red flag. And fifth, look at this one, clerical or accounting errors. A simple typo, right? A transposed number, or a basic accounting mistake actually gives ZATCA the authority to go back 10 years to correct those errors. It really shows just how important meticulous bookkeeping is. Now, prepare for a major surprise here. We just talked about 5 triggers that open a 10-year window, but actually there is a 6th trigger, and it is a massive exception to everything we just discussed. According to Article 3 of the regulation, if ZATCA has the right to register the liability for Zakat, there is absolutely no time limit at all. None. Zero. The 10-year rule goes completely out the window. In this specific scenario, they can look back as far as they need to without any statutory expiration date whatsoever.
Section 3. Authority versus penalty.
Now, before panic completely sets in, the crucial point here is understanding this exact contrast. It is so vital to separate the concept of authority from the concept of penalty. On one hand, we have the authority to reassess. That simply means ZATCA has the legal right to open the door and review your historical filings. That's just their power to look. But on the other hand, we have applying penalties. Having the authority to reassess does not mean you face automatic, default penalties just because they decided to look into a past year. Fines and penalties are applied entirely separately, and they're based strictly on the specific nature of the non-compliance they actually find. Basically, a review is just a review. The punishment only comes if they find a legitimate, penalizable issue during that review. Make sense?
Section 4. Steps for total compliance.
Looking at this brilliant, comprehensive summary from Finance Fix, we can clearly see the roadmap to minimizing your risk. This one infographic neatly ties the whole shebang together. The 10-year window, the triggers, the difference between authority and penalty, and most importantly, the proactive steps you can take right now to protect your organization. Let's break down those solutions.
Following these key takeaways transforms compliance from a total headache into an active shield for your company's future. First, maintain incredibly accurate records and, above all else, file on time. Simply hitting your deadlines and keeping clean books drastically reduces your risk of triggering a reassessment in the first place. Second, seriously consider voluntary disclosure. If you realize right now that you have past dues, or maybe you made an error 3 years ago, voluntarily stepping forward to disclose it is often treated so much more favorably than waiting for ZATCA to uncover it during a 10-year audit. Third, consult with experts. If you have outstanding liabilities or complex Zakat calculations, do not guess. Bring in professionals to ensure it's done right. And finally, remember the golden rule. Good compliance today protects your business tomorrow. The clean, accurate, and timely filing you do this afternoon is your absolute best defense against a reassessment notice arriving a decade from now.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one critical question to ask yourself and your finance team today. Are your Zakat filings from 5 years ago, the records sitting in an archive folder right now, are they truly ready to be pulled into a 10-year spotlight? If the answer is anything less than a highly confident yes, then it's time to review your past filings, tighten up your current compliance, and ensure your business is fully protected. Thanks for joining me for this crucial explainer, and honestly, I highly recommend sharing this with your compliance teams immediately. Take care.